What's up, guys? So I'm doing my best to keep up with this tight governor's race down here in Florida and the swirl and chaos surrounding both of these candidates. I mean, it's just shenanigans. On one side, you got a Bernie Sanders-backed socialist puppet that's funded by George Soros being investigated by the FBI. And then on the other side, you got a guy who's been tar and feathered as the second worst racist behind Donald Trump. And, you know, the first incident where they said, oh, look, see right there, he's starting off his campaign, dog whistling all his racist followers, and, you know, constituents, right? With the monkey this up comments, anyone with a shred of common sense knows exactly what he meant, and the left purposely took it out of context, okay? The second thing they try to do to paint Ron DeSantis as a racist was they connected him. They said he was in a Facebook page or Facebook group called the Tea Party Movement, right? Now, the Tea Party's been called racist before. It's been debunked before. Yes, there's some fringe elements there. There's some stupid people, just like there are with anything else. But they said he was an admin of this group. So I looked that group up on Facebook, and a lot of you guys are in that group, okay? I joined the group because I found some great memes in there. Right? I didn't see anything racist in there. I saw some exercise of freedom of speech. Sure, there were some people in there that said stuff. It's like, man, I wouldn't say that, but I also wouldn't call you a racist for it. Either way, it's not a good look for DeSantis if he was, in fact, in that group, just because it's not a good look. Like, why give them a stick to beat you with? You know, see, he's already, I'll say this about DeSantis, okay? I think he's the best candidate for governor of Florida, because he wants to keep taxes low. But would I have handpicked him? I don't know, maybe not. He doesn't have the charisma and like energy that I'd be looking for. But I like that he served in the Iraq War. I like that he's principled. I like that he's endorsed by President Trump. I like these things about DeSantis. But man, you can't give them a stick to beat you with. And he started off on the wrong foot. But I digress on there, okay? I think he's still going to win. The most recent thing that they've connected Ron DeSantis to is a guy by the name of David Horowitz. I've never heard of this guy before, right? But in the past couple of days, it came out that Ron DeSantis spoke at a David Horowitz event back in like 2015, David Horowitz Freedom Center. And I'll post links of his website and interviews he's done in the description. And you guys can tell me if you think this guy is a racist, David Horowitz, okay? He said, yeah, they said Ron DeSantis spoke at this guy's event. So look at Ron DeSantis being a big old racist. Now, also, Ben Shapiro has spoke there. Ben Shapiro's an Orthodox Jew. Ben Shapiro would not be aligned with someone who's anti-Semitic and Islamophobe and all that. I watched an interview with this guy, okay, on C-SPAN. David Horowitz did an interview with C-SPAN a couple months back, and he's just a champion of freedom of speech. One of the things he said in that interview, and you guys can watch it to get the context of the question because it'll help you understand why he answered it the way he did. But he answered the question as it relates to black Americans. As he said, black Americans owe their freedom to white Americans. And he's not wrong about that. I get where people are going to say like, well, that's racially charged. It's really not racially charged, because when you consider the context that he's tired of liberals and leftists race baiting and spreading a victimhood narrative to black people to create white hatred, he's like, wait a minute, if all white people were racist and horrible, you would still be slaves. And I totally agree with that, right? If all white people saw slavery as what it was, just to, you know, this is just how we get labor, whatever, then we would still be slaves. Every black person would still be a slave. Slavery would still be going on if it wasn't seen as immoral and inhumane by some, you know. And the other thing that he said in that interview is the only race war that's happening is race war against white people. Again, also, he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth when he says that, because look at all the anti-white propaganda. Look at how it's okay to be racist as long as it's racism against white people. Also, only white people can be racist, apparently. You know, the way the liberals have redefined racism they're basically saying only black people are immune. We've been granted immunity from being racist. And apparently only white people can be racist. So he's not wrong in that. He's just a champion of freedom of speech, okay? So Ron DeSantis gave an interview, or, you know, gave a speech at this guy, one of this guy's events. And they're connecting that to racism. So that's already 3 things as far as racism and Ron DeSantis that have been debunked. I was tweeting about it this morning too, guys. Like, because it just, as much as it's to be expected, it still pisses me off that they go to great lengths to connect conservatives to racism. And it's not a new thing. This is straight out of the liberals' playbook. This is what they do every single year. Do you guys remember back in the day when Obama ran in his first term? Hillary Clinton was a racist. Then John McCain was a racist. Then President Trump was a racist. And now Ron DeSantis is a racist. So it really doesn't matter what you say or what your policies are or what you're connected to, guilty by association or whatever. If you are a conservative or a Republican or a libertarian, you're automatically a racist. So let's get that out of the way. Now, as far as the election goes, I really don't see this election being close at all if every single voter shows up, even if every single voter for both sides shows up, because it's really going to come down to who has the most votes in terms of who shows up to the ballot. There's not going to be a lot of people in the middle, independents, never Trumpers, whoever, that are going to be swayed one way or the other. People are unfortunately going to vote their skin color with Gilliam, right? They're going to vote for him because he's black. They're going to vote for him because they want history. He'd be the first governor of the state of Florida that's not white. So a lot of people are going to vote for him based on that, which is sad. Other people are going to vote their values. And people in Florida tend to value low taxes, limited government, and freedom. So I really don't see this being a close race where there needs to be a lot of persuasion from one side or the other. It's pretty much, do you want socialism or do you want freedom? Freedom, bondage, pick one. So let me know what you guys think about this governor race in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Send me an email if you want to have like a discussion, because I can't really do like back and forth in the comments, guys. It's a little too much. But you can email me at MikeNipson813@gmail.com, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.